Hello everybody, it's Miss Kai. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And today we're going to talk about how to tune your violin. So before class, as you've all noticed, we usually go through and I usually tune your violins for you. And I know a lot of you have asked, how do we tune our instruments? Because we're still beginners and we're advancing beginners, and that's one of those things that we learn a little bit at a time. So the first thing that's important about tuning your violin is to know that we have to use our ears to listen closely and try to match our pitch most of the time, either with something that we hear or something that we see. So I asked a lot of you to, if you could, bring your tuners or bring your tuner apps, which I have ClearTune, which there are so many out there and they're all equally wonderful, and that's just the one that I happen to use. Or if you have your own tuner, you can use that as well, but they all work generally the same. So the first way that we tune is to use what we call a strobe tuner. So I have my phone set to the strobe tuner setting, and whenever it hears a sound, it actually registers in the phone and registers on the strobe tuner and tells you what note it hears. And then it also tells you whether that note is too high or it's too low. So let's watch here for a second. Let me show this here. So let's watch here for a second and we'll see if I sing the note A, or la, it's telling me that that A is just a little bit too high. So if I wanted to bring it down a little bit and try to find the exact pitch for the A, that's going to change where the little indicator lines up. The closer it is to 0, okay, you guys have to look at your own app for this. The closer it is to 0, the closer in tune you are. And so you want to adjust your instrument until it gets to that 0 setting, okay? So if you didn't see that down here, it's gonna look like this, okay? So I'm a little bit sharp. You can see that red line at the top going way over to one side, okay? And we wanna try and get that as close to the middle as we can, okay? So from our violin perspective though, let's talk about the basics of tuning before we get into the actual mechanics of tuning. So your violin has 2 ways to tune. We have the pegs. There are 4 of them, 1 for each string, and we have the fine tuners, which most of you have 4 fine tuners. I have 1. The longer you've been playing, the fewer fine tuners you tend to have, just because it's easier in a big orchestra to tune with the pegs as opposed to just adjusting here. So the pegs are for big adjustments. The pegs are for those times when you're maybe putting a new string on and you have to wind it up, or the weather makes it go really, really out of tune, and so you have to get the pitch to an approximate area that's really close to the note that you're looking for. A lot of the tuning that we do in class, we're going to be using these fine tuners. Now, if you look closely, you guys are all looking at me through the screen, you can see that the fine tuners tune in either one direction or the other. If you tune it clockwise, okay, so that's if you're having your instrument sitting in front of you, that's going to be to your left, okay, or if they're up here, it's going to be to your right, okay. So it depends on what way your violin is, which way your violin is facing, but it's still always going to be clockwise, okay. That is going to make it go sharper or make the pitch go higher. If you tune it counterclockwise, it's going to make the pitch go lower, okay, and that's really important. So I'll show you my daughter's violin. That one has all 4 of the tuners on there, and you can listen as I pluck the sound. Okay, this is the A string. I'm going to turn the tuner clockwise. You can hear the sound going higher and higher, okay? Now I'm going to turn it counterclockwise, and you can hear the sound starting to go lower, okay? So if you have your tuning apparatus, so either your tuning app or your tuner, which you can have an actual physical tuner, a metronome combination that you can use as well, take a look, and as you pluck your instrument or play your instrument, see where that little line is going. Okay, I'm getting closer to the A. Good, and you want to let it ring a little bit so that it can register a little bit better. I'm talking a little bit, so it's going all over the place. So it has to be pretty quiet for you to do this, okay? Okay, you can see the line. It's going a little high. Okay. Oh, there it is. It's pretty close, okay? So my A is pretty close, and so you would try to get it as close to the 0 as you can, and then once it's there, you go on to the next string. I'm plucking it just to show that you don't have to use the bow. This is the first way to try. Okay, and I want to let it ring so it registers and not talk. So there we go. Alright, and if you want to use the bow, you can play your note. Good. And then go to the next string. You see how I'm turning it, that's counterclockwise, making it lower. I'm turning it clockwise and making it higher. Alright, so it's right in the middle, right on the 0, and the note name says D, because I know that my second string, or the second string I usually tune is the D. That's the third string out, or the third string down from, if you're going from right to left as you're facing the violin. Okay, so we've got 2 strings done. The next string is the G string. So again, I wish I had a way so that you can see. Let's see, let's try this. Okay, so perhaps you can see a little bit better. There you go. And then, let's see, I'll zoom in a little bit. A lot of it. Let's see. Let's see if we can zoom it in so that you can see. Let's zoom it in a little bit better. All right, let's try that. So I'm going to go to the G string, okay, and we're going to see how that goes. So you see I'm going way low and how that changes where the note is. But now I'm turning it clockwise, and bringing it a little higher. Good, and that looks like it's just about right in the middle. Okay, good. Now the last string that we would tune, I see you guys over there, would be the E string. So you can also pluck, remember? You see that's a little flat, which means it's this way, or toward the left side of the tuner. So let it ring and then turn. It's way low, so I'm going to keep going up a little higher. See, it says the note E, and then we look at the 0 to see exactly how close we are, and that looks pretty good. Okay, so you can do this either with this tuner, or if your tuner has a setting where you can where you can actually hear a pitch, you can use that to match. Now that can take a little bit more to actually hear the pitch, but a lot of you have been practicing for 2 to 3 years, so you have to listen very closely and try to make your sound match the sound that you're hearing. Okay, so I'll show you that technique really quickly as well. So as you can hear, my cone is actually playing the note A, which is the first string that we always tune. Okay, we always go A, D, G, and then E. And of course, when we come in for our classes, I will help you through this process individually. Okay, so here you can hear the sound A, and you can play your sound A very quietly. Okay. Now, the closer you are to the pitch, the nicer the two notes are going to sound together. Okay, so right now it's exactly in tune. But listen, as I go flat, so I'm turning my tuner which way? Counterclockwise right now. So I'm turning it counterclockwise and it's getting really, really low. It's not even an A anymore. You can hear how those notes together sound really, really, like full of tension. Now, as I go back the other direction, I'm going higher and higher. And notice how as I get closer, the frequencies, the vibrations go faster and faster until they are exactly the same. Now, if I keep going higher and higher, that doesn't sound good either. And I'm almost at the next note, okay? So you have to listen very carefully and turn very slowly. Almost there. There it is, okay? And then you can do the same thing for all of the strings. There's the A, you can move it to the sound D. I have another tuner that's much louder, so if you need a louder tuner, you can find a good app. I'm also going to record a tuning video for all of you as well. So if you want to listen to make sure that your instrument is in tune, you can do this same process, but with my video, okay, for each of the different strings, okay? Same thing with the D. Listening carefully. If it doesn't sound right, I play around with it. Nope, too high. Uh-oh, too low. Listening. Okay, and there it is. And we do the same thing with all of the other instruments. So as we tie it up, so the thing that you want to think about when you're tuning is one, how you would like to tune. Would you like to tune with your ears or would you like to tune with your eyes? Okay, and either way you have to pay very close attention to what you see and the little tiny details in either the pitch or where the little ticker is going, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this introduction to tuning, and I look forward to seeing you all in our virtual classes. Thanks for mine's in tune too. Yep, doing all right on my violin as well. Be sure to tune in to our class at our normal time. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me at bridgesviolin@gmail.com. So I will see you soon and have a beautiful musical day.